words and clearly define their words as if this is some type of classroom for ESL. That's what happens on this app a lot.
Well, what also happens is what just happened 5 minutes ago. I was making a point completely that was not about a distinction between the left or liberals, and that's what the discussion became. Because at one point I used the term left, at another point I used the term liberal, and Andre took exception to me melding them both together. It had nothing to do with that. And because I was not, quote, precise in my use of terms, he felt offended by that.
Well, dear God, don't bring up Ukraine. Don't bring up Ukraine with him. He's so sensitive about the peace movement and, rectifying problems with Russia. I mean, after all, Russia invaded Ukraine. Don't bring up Ukraine.
Yeah, well, and then there's that on Clubhouse, because people remember past conversations and they go into a new conversation with a particular bias, which I can understand. I do that myself, but it's usually, with people that threaten the lives of me or my family members. I might have an issue with that. But that aside, it's helpful to not be biased in a new conversation.
Mostly people are not be biased, but maybe unknowingly they'll be like, it's in a group setting. It's like for some person felt it's like they were more interested in particular topic. They will go on to that in depth, and the person may not be that much interested. So from others' point of view, it feel like a biased view or something. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not sure what you said.
What is the topic?
There's no topic. The topic is you can't be friends with leftists, meaning that they're slightly deranged and they're out of. Really, they want to change the environment, but they can't, and so you have to deal with their schizoid type of condition because they're unwilling to accept the current regime. They're unwilling to accept the fact that the liberals and the Democrats have really no integrity, and they are essentially flummoxed because they view themselves as being the most high in integrity when actually they're very low. So I have compassion and love for liberals, but they are really stupid.
Can I know what is liberal?
Basically, BLM, LGBTQ, CRT, DEI.
Yeah.
Man, I am having such a productive day. This is good. This feels good.
What, in your car, taking a left?
What's that?
That's awesome to hear. Good job, Dave.
I am getting stuff done.
Love to hear it. Let's go. Same, actually. Very productive day.
How do you be productive?
So far, how's your days going so far, you people?
Productive. It's the only word I can find.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's good. Some days feel more like it's different for me. But today I did a lot of invoicing this morning, so I got money coming in, which is good. I am bad at the invoicing. I'm good at the work.
exact same.
Are you married?
I am. Or are you asking straight?
I was asking you to.
Yeah.
If you're married, you need to get better at the invoicing
Why?
because you have a woman.
Yeah, and 4 children.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You got hungry mouths to feed.
Yeah,
They're not
they're not hungry.
They're not interested in whether you're good or bad at invoicing. They're interested in getting their num-nums right now.
Yeah, well, they don't have to worry. We got a freezer full of beef. We got 3 months rations tucked away for emergencies. We got lots of groceries. We're good. We got 6 goats out back. We can always eat the goats if we have to. We got 15 chickens pumping out eggs every day. We're good.
Yeah, but if the zombies come, then you're in trouble.
I also have a ton of guns and ammo, a very defensible shop.
Actually, there was a book about 15 years ago. How did it was something like how to protect yourself from the zombie attack, and it was a comedy book, obviously, but it was like written in a serious tone.
It really depends on the type of zombies, right? Are we talking Walking Dead zombies? Are we talking World War Z zombies? Are we talking like was it?
I don't remember. Actually, I don't. But the
World War Z zombies were super fast, right? Remember?
Yeah, I know.
That would be crazy. But like, what's that one with? Is it not Denzel?
Will Smith.
Will Smith in New York. What's that one called again? I Am Legend. Yeah, they only come out at night. Like that would be pretty manageable, I feel like.
Well, the point of the book was that inner cities are actually more defensible than rural areas, just because of the structures themselves. You know, if you think of a high rise, you've got one entry point which is more easily defendable than, say, a farmhouse with its open windows, etc., etc.
Yeah, but like even his house in that movie had a ton of upgrades done to it. That's like, how would he have done? Like, that was non-realistic, right? Like how he would shut it down every night. Like, what was the process of infection until he got that completed? Like, not really, possible. And I completely believe that rural is better, just because of distance between shelter also benefits you as well as them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't believe that we will ever have that situation. So I think there's much bigger threats than a zombie apocalypse.
Don't be so negative. We will have a zombie apocalypse. Be positive about these things.
We already kind of do. It's called voters.
Well,
Yeah, it's called liberal Democrats. Those are the zombies. All these No Kings protesters, these 60 million brainwashed Americans.
Well, let's not act like the other 60 million aren't brainwashed. Right?
Yeah, maybe they're not actually brainwashed. You ever think about that? That maybe enforcing our laws and removing illegal aliens who are here using our resources and our benefits and not paying into the system, maybe they shouldn't be here. And maybe
so now you're defending socialism?
No, I'm not defending socialism.
Maybe you shouldn't have those programs, and you wouldn't have shitty people coming over to steal from it.
It's the program's fault for our own people. Got it. Okay, Dave. I love Canadians.
No, it's a program's fault for attracting shitty people. Yeah. Like 100 years ago, people moved to America or Canada or whatever for opportunity. Now they move for free shit. You got to stop the free shit, and you stop attracting those people.
That's a very sexist comment, Dave, and I'll explain why. That's, and this is a joke, don't take it seriously.
Oh.
That's like saying a woman with a hot body, it's her fault that men are always hitting on her.
It's her benefit.
She can't help that she looks hot.
No, typically women try to look hot, right? Because they use it to their benefit.
All right, stop.
They don't want to wear burqas because they want to show off.
Stop punching holes in my argument here.
Okay. But like for real, like the idea that like these systems are somehow not socialism, like coming from whatever we're calling them now, candidate. Like somehow it's people's fault for using those systems is ridiculous. Like the problem is that you have those systems, and they should have never been instilled, like Social Security or whatever, all these different welfare programs, and they're not good. Those things need to be done privately, or there's no accountability. And without accountability, you can't have real charity.
Dave,
you just have abuse.
have you ever signed up for state-funded healthcare?
Have I ever signed up for state-funded healthcare? No.
Okay, so when you do sign up for it, there's multiple providers, and it's up to you to choose which one. You don't even have to pay for it. But guess who pays that provider? Your government, your state government. I live in Illinois. So the problem is these for-profit healthcare providers wouldn't be able to turn a fucking profit if it wasn't for we, the people, the taxpayers that are borrowing and spending on all these really expensive healthcare programs. Talk to Evital here. He can tell you the game. And it is a game. It's about making money.
It's a problem. But is the problem the companies that are capitalizing on those things that the government do, or the government for promoting that?
In my opinion, the responsibility should be on the government to negate that profit making.
Well, you can't say we're going to have profitless healthcare, or you end up with shitty healthcare. You want to promote healthcare as a business, right? To drive costs down.
It's got to be a fine balance.
What's that? Like, I don't believe that healthcare is a human right.
Been going up
I don't.
under private healthcare.
Yeah, because America's regulated to death, my guy. Like, take a look around.
Where's the?
Look at OSHA. Look at the EPA. Look at.
It's always the Canadians that actually know anything about America that are telling Americans why their country is amazing.
Like, I love America. It's one of the better countries.
Name the country with the pure.
I'm not saying that there's all kinds of better countries. I'm saying all these countries are doing things wrong.
It's okay to justify the government allowing people to violate people's property rights to trade.
Here we go again. Simon, I think I've heard you say that same thing about 100 times on this app. Congrats, Simon, for repeating yourself for the 1,000th time.
You just can't answer the question. You don't have to come back for
Simon, let me try this. Do you guys think that healthcare is a human right?
Look, we have the system we have now. Going forward, change it in ways that are better.
Yeah, which might mean eliminating it, right?
You don't have any solutions.
So I have a question. Do you think that healthcare is a human right?
See, we won't dignify your question because it's actually a very stupid question. The better question, there's much better questions than that question, Dave. I got to think of a better
It's
question.
a very good question. There's something that requires the labor of somebody else. Can it be a human right?
See, the problem with that assumption is that if you spend your whole life smoking cigarettes and not going to the gym and eating cheeseburgers, and now you're demanding my human fucking right to cure me of my fucking cancer because I spent my whole life being a jerk off, well, is that a human right then? Dave? And is it okay for we, the taxpayers, to spend $8 million curing you of your 40-year cigarettes and McDonald's consumption? Is that your human fucking right? You need that $8 million to cure your fat ass now of that fucking cancer?
No, it's not. Is it ever a human right? If you're super healthy, is it a human right? I would say no. I think healthcare is not a human right. I don't think anybody is owed healthcare from anybody.
Are you in Canada?
I am.
And you're saying you're never in your system there? You were
I'm
born,
saying what? What did you say?
you were born into a system totally nationalized and pretty effective.
It's fucking dog shit, my guy. Our healthcare is dog shit.
According to what? Like, there's only like 2 provinces that actually get any sort of healthcare in Canada.
Yeah, how many times have you been to Canada, Simon?
I'm from Canada.
Like,
Sorry to hear that,
I
Simon.
waited for like
That
2
makes-
hours.
Simon, finally, I understand you now.
Family member be told by doctors that they should just let their children die rather than take care of them because they're a burden and they've cost millions of dollars for the healthcare system.
Well, it makes sense now.
The number 1 cause of death in Canada last year was the fucking MAID program.
Why did you lie to the
What's the MAID program?
Medical assistance in dying. So the government kills you and sells your organs. So
been on the
if you're depressed,
you never took it.
what?
He asked you if you've ever signed up for government.
Yeah, I never signed up for it.
You're signed up.
It was forced upon me, my guy.
Yeah, so
You
you've
understand
been
the difference.
a recipient your whole life.
I have been a recipient of state health care. That was not the question. That was not the question. I paid tons of fucking money for it, dude.
Paid
I
nothing.
way overpaid it. Are you kidding me? Look at my tax bill. What do you think that's fucking for?
You never paid a. So,
What?
Well, Dave,
so spare me that.
Dave, let me ask you and Simon, since you guys are the green bean supermods here, what would your priorities be if you were in power and you were the leader of the people? What would your top 3 priorities be?
Watch the crickets.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, either
Sure,
you or
I would
Simon. Go
say
ahead.
Number 1 is individual freedom. So, like protecting individual rights. That is what power should be used for.
We already had that.
Like, no, I don't. I'm not allowed to defend myself. If I'm getting robbed, I'm not allowed to shoot a guy in my house. That is bullshit. I should be allowed to protect my life, my freedoms, and my possessions with violence.
Okay, so that's priority number 1. Moving on to priority number 2.
Canada's fucked up.
Go ahead. What's priority number 2, Dave? And you can answer these questions too, Simon, because we know you guys are such critical thinkers. Go ahead.
Honestly, outside of that, I don't see much priority for a government, but I think that a nation that is derives its morality from God is very important. So I think having a nation that focuses on Christian values.
Okay, so you believe in killing people who come into your house unlawfully. You believe that government and society should be based on Jesus Christ and his teachings. Now, what's your 3rd priority for we the people? Go ahead.
Well, it's quite a list.
I mean, individual rights covers a lot of priorities, but do you want me to break that down?
No, I want a third priority if you were the leader of we the people.
Freedom of travel be included in that? I would say so, but do you? That you can never steal from me as a government. That would be a priority too.
How do you?
What do you mean? The government kind of takes from me all the time.
How would you set up the schooling for the kids and the meal?
It's private, period. The government has no business in health and education.
It's an interesting idea.
Why would you have to, up until this 70s, that was a foreign concept to have governments involved in education. Why do people act like now that's like the standard thing that you should have?
Public
It's a good question.
Why does what business does the government have in education?
It's one of their primary business.
No,
Really, it's a primary
Yeah.
concern of the
In the
government.
United States, we spend 1.1 trillion a year on education, and it's mostly
That's a
funded through property taxes. Only 300 billion through Department of Education. But property taxes and owning a home is owning a liability to fund the pensions and the salaries, as well as the facilities costs, administrative
that makes
expenses.
sense, right?
Does it really? Does it make sense?
Why is that bullshit?
Why does that make sense? Why is it so much, Mixed? Should it be like 10% of all that property tax?
Because
I pay for public education on my taxes, but I send my kids to a private school. So now I'm paying for 2 schools
right.
because I don't want to send my kids to a government indoctrination camp.
The reason I'm trying to say it makes sense to link it to property taxes is because a neighborhood which has educated youth is a better neighborhood to live in, which is why it makes sense
completely
to tie
subjective.
it to the value of the property in the neighborhood.
It is completely subjective of you to say that an educated neighborhood is better for you.
No, I think it's pretty objective. I can probably.
No, it's not. What if
It's not.
What if the community is an LGBTQ trans promoter?
Rural communities that aren't educated are better communities than cities where a lot of educated people live.
There you
throw,
go.
like the density of a rural farm into like square acreage of safe civil humans.
Mixed, you put your kids through private school, don't you? Don't you send them to Jewish day school?
That's for religious reasons. Yeah, I don't.
Well,
send them to the
religion. It's not religious. They're getting an education. They're learning language. They're learning
100%.
theory.
No,
They're
I
learning
think all
morality,
people
ethics.
should educate their children.
Okay, so but you go the extra mile. Your property taxes don't fund your children's education. You foot the private bill.
My property taxes funds the education of the citizens of the town I live in.
There you go.
I don't care about them though. I shouldn't have to pay
Why
because
don't
that's
you care about them?
That's social. Well, I do care about them, but I don't care to educate them. I don't want to pay for their education
Why not?
because I don't get value from it.
Mixed, why?
I disagree with you.
Mixed,
Yeah, that's fine.
Mixed, it can't be in perpetuity.
Endless value out of living amongst the educated masses.
Mixed, it's not education. It is a jobs program.
So much better over the last 50 years.
Mixed, the libraries are already built. The books are already there.
Because
of education. Okay, the people are convinced that socialism is good, and they've embraced it because, in theory, when the only places that these ideas like socialism and communism excel in is in theory. In practice, they never work. So, oftentimes, education systems are breeding grounds for theoretical ideas, and then they literally start pushing them into your world. Like, this idea that people all need to be educated or should be educated is retarded. We need lots of people to do
I'm sorry,
lots of
did you
things
say
that don't
it's
require
dumb
education.
to think that everyone should be smart?
Yes, it's dumb.
This
It's dumb. It's dumb to think that everybody needs a lot of education.
Interesting theory. Let's see if it works out for your civilization.
So again, Dave.
If you look at America, 100 years ago, it was the best civilization in history.
It was also very educated. America has always had.
But it was not
Yeah.
public. It was not public. There was
Dave.
It was done privately.
But most,
Okay, you understand?
There's good public schools in the. This
Sorry,
is stupid.
mostly I hear that Canada or other countries are like public school educations are good compared to private educations. I heard like that.
What? Does anyone understand what?
I think she said that public school education is so good in Canada that it is comparable to the education one would receive at a private school education.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends how you measure that, right? If they all come out as communists, I would say that's not good, right? But if they know their math good, you could argue like, hey, they know their math good, so they're good at math, but they come out at believing that socialism is
Well,
the way to be, and that we all evolved from monkeys and all these ideas. Like, I think that's conventional.
Mixed, what is the what does the religious teachings tell us about funding public education? What does the Torah teach us about?
Interesting. There's some interesting things taught about that. One, it is the general obligation of the community to educate the children. Two, it is forbidden to receive payment for teaching the Torah. Interesting rule. Within that, the Jews have a standing obligation upon any father who must educate their son in all of the Jewish practices. Standing obligation, biblical level. Moses says, go teach them how to be Jewish. And then, for the failure of the father to educate, the community must step up. So yeah, the Jews have a standing religious obligation upon themselves to educate the next generation in the culture of the Jews.
Because if you were made the leader of We the People, do you think that you could possibly be tyrannical?
Me? I wouldn't be a tyrant.
But I mean, when you actually see the resistance to your, power, I'm just saying that you might become tyrannical because possibly
Tyrannical.
because you might be able to justify your tyranny.
What? Hurting people? Why would I do that?
I'm just saying you can use Torah to explain away anything.
If I use Torah, then, the measure of rationality is whether or not your methods are clear and measured. If they are, the result is by definition rational. So, whatever I conclude on, it's just going to be some course. I'm personally of the opinion that most decisions don't matter that much, and you could flip a coin and just go with one. And if you really don't like that one, just switch to the other one and call it a day.
I mean,
I think people think too much about choices, mostly.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, the misconception is that you're not paying for public education. You are. You're paying for it. I mean, the difference is that.
No, I know I pay for public education. I'm simply saying that public education has a certain kind of public good, civilizationally, that is worth the cost. Similar to the way the Europeans like to think about healthcare, that you should think about what you're paying the taxes for. What do you get for it? I think we pay certain taxes for education of anyone in America, and that's good. That's just good for society, and I pay that price.
Wait.
Well, I mean, that's up to the person to decide. But the point that I'm trying to make is that by enforcing education on everybody simply through taxation, it's a force, and you're paying for it regardless. You're paying for the education. Public education is not free. You're paying for it.
Yeah, it's not your decision to pay for it or not.
We get it. We get that, Chase.
And that's the difference between secular law, that's secular, that's the state versus religion.
So it makes that if you, based on decision-making theory, if you think flipping a coin and it really doesn't make a difference what choice you make, eVTOL here plays poker. So, I mean, where does the strategy then come in?
You can always make the other way and revert to the mean.
You just muted your mic.
So it makes it. Why do you think that it doesn't really matter what you choose? What are you trying to say? That there is a simulation at play, or that?
Think of it this way: if it comes down to a choice of A or B, to do it or to not do it, there's obviously. Think of it this way: obviously, good arguments to either do it or not do it, to do A or B. Otherwise, the choice wouldn't be presented. Which is to say, both of them are good. Both of them have good reasons behind them. Obviously, one could theoretically be better. You'll never know because you're only going to select one of them. So there's arguments for both of them. You can't really fail with either option.
Just make your best decision and move along.
Right, because the president isn't choosing down at the grunt level. The grunt's already figured out the obvious choices. They're giving him the really weird, difficult choice that could go this way or that way. And I'm saying, if they're not clear on it, then it really could go one way or the other. It's probably fine.
Okay, so do we agree? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it's the infinite game. You're going to get many more repetitions.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, Mixed, do we agree on the fact that I need to make sure that we agree on things before I proceed with my point? Do we agree that the state is there to protect the rights of the people?
Yeah, that's one of the functions. That's like a lower grade function of like establishing peace and security for the people.
Okay. So do you think that forcing somebody to pay for something that they don't want is protecting the rights of people?
Forcing someone to pay for something that they don't want, it can be protecting the rights of the people. It depends.
Is it always?
No, not always. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Okay. So what if somebody doesn't want something such as public education, but they're forced to pay for it?
Forced to pay for it. I would say that they could present their arguments as to why society is better off without public education, but other than their like compelling arguments, which could sway me, and then I would change my mind. I see the argument that we should have public education.
Okay.
Meaning, I fully concede that I might be wrong. I'm simply a human.
Yeah,
it's the way I process things. If someone wanted to make a compelling case, they could go make it to the general liberal conclusions of the entire civilized world.
You know that they're not.
Like necessary.
You know that I'm at odds with them, though, right? Like my beliefs are at odds with most of the world, and I accept that.
Okay, are you against public education?
Yes.
Why?
For two reasons. Number one, they quickly become indoctrination camps, right?
Of course, that's all education.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
I reject that. I think that they become indoctrination camps of the people
In power.
in power, right? So like
at least whoever's educated.
The people who are trying to control how much they should tax you are now telling you that it's the moral thing to do and a good thing to do, right? Like, so they're indoctrinating everybody that goes through that system that they are necessary
Necessary
for that
good
system.
behaviors of modern citizens, yes.
Yes. And what they define as good, I reject, right? Like, so I don't necessarily agree with what they define as good. And the second thing is how does it get funded? If people said, listen, we're going to donate money to educate people who can't afford it in our society, I would say that's a really good thing to do, right?
Sure, of course.
Because there's accountability. But I can't hold the government to account. I can't stop funding them when they're doing a shitty job. So now they are stealing from me to do something that I don't want them to do.
Right. The whole point of private is that you're choosing.
So society has always kind of viewed helping out the sick and needy as their responsibility, right? But there was accountability with it because the churches largely controlled it. So if you came to a church for money because you couldn't work, the church would help you out and they would watch you and say, okay, now you are good enough to go back to work or whatever, right? There's accountability.
Yeah,
now with our public systems, we have created no accountability. So these people can get money forever for no reason other than they don't feel like working. Like, how is that good?
The people in the schools?
Then the people in the schools tell you that that's your moral responsibility to provide that for people.
Moral responsibility.
It's a human right. It's a human right to take care of everybody. It's like, no, it is not. It is our duty to help people. Right? It's our duty to help people, but only if we can hold them accountable. If we can't hold them accountable,
I think it's good for
we're
society to educate everybody.
Yeah, but
it's good, but not
in education now. Like the fact that people can't even hold a civil discussion anymore, or
Simon, what was the last book you read, Simon? Dave, what was the last book you read, Dave?
Too much education.
No, I'm saying if people like when you say too much education, what do you?
I'm asking, what is your argument against public education?
Would you say that there can? Would you say that you can overeducate? Would you say that you can overeducate?
No, I would not say that.
So if I said tomorrow we're raising taxes to 80% because everybody's getting a university degree in medical sciences and in engineering, you would be like, okay,
I would say
that's
this.
good.
I would say this. It's a bold strategy cut, and let's see if it works out for him.
What movie's that from?
Yeah, come on, that's retarded.
That's dodgeball.
What? Oh, that's
Oh,
Dodgeball?
yeah, no, I think you're going to fail miserably, but let's see if it works out for you.
Yes, right? Because you recognize that you can overeducate. Like, there's a
It's not
cost-benefit
overeducated.
analysis.
What you said was
Yes,
like
it is.
what you described was an apocalyptic world with unemployment at greater than 80%.
And that's what we're experiencing right now.
Not at unemployment of 80%.
Violating people's rights. I'm way more concerned with how you just say, yeah, we can try it. Like, why not just
Yeah, why not
violate
try it?
everyone's rights? Yeah, exactly. Well, then you don't care about rights.
I both disagree with the principle. I both disagree with the violation of human rights, and I disagree that it would be better. So, like, I don't know.
What human rights? What human right do you think?
Okay, so that my labor,
right
that I am not a slave. That I am not a slave and I am not owned by anybody. And nobody has a claim. Nobody has a claim on my income. Nobody has a claim on my income.
Your ancestors united and invested in a single edifice to put the best educators that they, as a community, could hire to educate your worthless behind. Now, you might be ungrateful for that building and think that your ancestors were enslaving you to their foolish ideology that produced the beautiful building
put me in
and housed
private
the
school
beautiful
that
little
they
clouds
funded,
and screens.
and I'm thankful for it. My ancestors put me in a private school, and I'm
Your
thankful
ancestors
for
made the
the
initiative.
sacrifices that they made.
Peter Pumpkin Eater.
Problem with what you're saying,
He ate a
because
mouse he
that
couldn't keep or put her in a shell.
education, like, you don't,
There she is,
whether
in
you
a
agree with
shell.
the public education is dependent on the individual, and the fact that every individual is forced to pay. That's the issue. They're forced to, and they might not.
Even if they don't use it.
Exactly.
Right, you're not paying for the service of the school.
Which is
People who don't have
impeding on the
children
rights.
pay. It's people who own the property that pay to support schools in their neighborhoods, just like they would pay to support a Walmart in their neighborhood, a bowling alley in their neighborhood,
Why the
a
fuck
church
would I
in their
pay
neighborhood.
to support a bowling alley in my neighborhood? The people who
He's Canadian, Mixed. Take it easy on the bowling alleys. Build an ice rink for the guy. Let him have a hockey team.
where do you draw your line with what you provide for people?
When you have an intergenerational structure, the government gets involved.
In the United States, do you guys?
They're long term, not
So
short term.
retarded.
Who runs the governance?
So
The
retarded.
governance of the school in the public state school in America. Who runs governance? Is it the parents or is it the school itself? Who runs the governance?
The state does. The state, ultimately, the state does.
If it's a public school, it's gonna be the state. If it's a private school, it might be, I don't know, like whoever the owners are, or maybe there are schools that are owned by parents. But it depends. It depends on the form of the school.
Listen. At a minimum, for my understanding of what a good public school system is it has prepared facilities, it has the best teachers they can hire from the region, and enough teachers to accommodate all of the students, the children born within their district. And I think that bearing the brunt of that in the property holders makes sense because of the good civilization you're making.
And then you make it illegal not to send your children to school. And that you can take your children away from them because you don't agree with it.
Do you know why?
It's not illegal.
Do you know why they have that requirement?
It's illegal to not educate your children, which is a separate problem. And yes, that can be a form of neglect.
I mean,
That's ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous. If you leave a child uneducated, that's neglect.
Yeah.
I mean, a child can't be
You doesn't have to go to
uneducated.
public school. You can educate
child-
yourself.
Are you saying that Dave was neglected? Are you saying that Dave's parents neglected him with education, that his society failed Dave? Dave, he's saying that you didn't get the education to make you aware that education...
Holy fuck, how many people are going to interrupt each other? Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So Mexet, we've already
Suck
agreed.
that back.
We've already
Mexet?
agreed that the.
Sorry, no, Trey, sorry.
I was just going to say, we've already agreed that the government, the purpose of the government is to protect the rights of the people. And so by you saying that you're forcing, you think it's good that the state forces people to pay for something that they don't all want, that is impeding the rights of the people by default.
Oh, shit.
But don't you see, in the name of protecting your rights, we're going to violate your rights. That's
it
how
also
it makes sense.
It also impedes people's rights when they grow up utterly and completely ignorant.
Don't advocate for not advocating.
It's not.
Here's a good
This is why
principle.
America has the very convoluted system of having a social
Can I say
public
a good
education
principle?
available, but still permitting all of the citizens to provide their own private education, just so long as they do not neglect the standards that any child should have.
Okay. Can I say a principle, Mexet? Hold on. Can I say a principle that you should look at every single time your freedoms are taken away to you? It's done under the guise of it being beneficial for you and society, and it's bullshit.
No,
We
all you
recognize
need to do is look at history.
That's
The most uneducated people become the
Marshall.
most backwards people. The folks who get educated and the empires that figure out how to flourish with artisans and engineers succeed. It's really not very difficult. 10,000 years of recorded human history can't possibly be wrong.
What are you saying?
Follow the Dave, you're so out of line. You thought public school started in the.
See, Marshall, you beat me to the punch. See, we have this thing where we have like words and writing things down and history. So we can look at why people do the things they do. And by and large, the people, we found that people who don't engage in some sort of public education, their kids end up being idiots. So we don't want a society of idiots, so we require it. Thank you.
I mean, there's a reason people like Charlemagne and Alfred the Great required their court to be educated. It was so they could take advantage of the knowledge of the Greeks and the Romans that was there. When you have periods of history where people are broadly uneducated, these historians tend to call them dark ages.
Why are we? Hold on. Why are we entering this false dichotomy where we're acting as if there's no public education? Number one, there would be no cheap education that the majority of people can afford, which means that, and obviously, if there's a demand for that, that would be created. If there was no public education, that's number one. And number two, why are we pretending like no public education equals no education or no other options outside of like free education?
Because you might get lucky.
Hold on. Why are we assuming that means no education just because there's no like government funded like thing that pretends to like teach everybody to the betterment of everybody? Like, why are we pretending like those are the only two options? It makes no sense. If there was no public education, and there was a demand for cheap education that most people can afford, that gives people more options, then like, why are we pretending like that wouldn't exist?
Right.
Because somebody like me would just come out and be like, well, there's a demand. There needs to be cheap education that a lot of people will choose to give me money for that most people can afford. So, like, why are we pretending like that doesn't exist?
It did exist, and we created public schools to meet that demand. And does it meet everyone's needs? No. You know, a Mercedes-Benz might not meet the demand of someone who just needs a Toyota Camry. But the fact is that we did identify it, and we have met that demand. The other issue is, you might get lucky, and the person who wants to keep his kid at home and teach them themselves might be a Nobel Prize winner and might be a genius. But by and large, they're not. and they found that, gee, you might be able to figure out in a couple of weeks why your leg is hurting. But generally speaking, we go to doctors because they have the training to heal our medical ailments. And yeah, we go to public schools and teachers because they have the training to teach kids. And none of this would be an issue if the teachers just taught the kids and didn't try and make them turn into trannies and gay and everything else.
Right.
In the school system.
They're propaganda of the state. Of course they're going to do the state.
Yes, I know, and that's the problem. But all of those things, all of those things, somebody's got to do it. And eventually, and you know what, even
but does the state have to do it?
You know how homeschooling works? Usually the parents who homeschool sign their kids up with a homeschooling organization that provides them with all of the curriculum and the guidance. It's still a group of people doing it. Now, I agree. If you
but they're paid for it, and it's voluntary.
Yes. And I agree, if you don't want a state-run program, that's fine. But it's still the state setting the standards for those homeschooling programs. Somebody's got to set the standards somewhere, and the government does it.
No, parents should set the standards for what they want their children. They're the ones that should pay for it, and they should set the standard for what they want.
But we judge the standard that parents set for their children.
Right, but I can put you guys. I can literally give
But Jess makes a good argument that we could conceive of a world in which the government is regulating the educational standards that we have for our students without providing a government-controlled education facility.
Why do they need to provide a standard?
Wait.
Why do we need them to provide a standard?
First of all, we have to understand.
We need the standard because we're going to arrest people when they don't teach their kids how to speak English.
So again, No, that's the problem.
That's why we have a standard.
You're assuming that everybody agrees on the same standard, number one. Number two is that I can give you lists of examples throughout history of cheap and affordable private schools that have been shown to be just as effective, if not more effective, than public schools. So, the
free market can provide.
And that's not even the point that I'm saying. I'm not even arguing effectiveness, which I can argue. I can argue that private schools that are cheap and affordable are more effective. But I'm not even making that point. The point that I'm trying to make is that by the government forcing you to go into public education that you don't want to do or paying for it, you are imposing on the rights of the people.
I think there's a more important. Hold on. There's a more important argument against public schools. There's a more important argument, which is public schools are a natalism shredder, which means if you send your grandchildren to public schools, they learn not to have kids, not to reproduce. On the other hand, if you send your kids to religious schools, they are taught to marry young and produce. So you're seeing already, and I'll land my plane here, you're seeing already today an incredible divergence between families that send their kids to religious school and families that send their kids to public school. And I would close by saying, even if you yourself are not religious, even if you have no respect for religion, you should want religious schools instead of public schools, because America can only continue to exist with religious schools. The public schools mean extinction. Now, I'm done speaking. I have links that prove everything I say.
Okay, so this idea that America will cease to exist is an interesting thought. Does America exist the way it did 100 years ago? No. America is dying every second and being reborn the next second. You are changing constantly. Constantly. Is it better
saying that if we stick with the public schools, we're...
You gotta be mad to your head. Boyfriend, girlfriend, same shit. Black youngster.
Okay, this is reading Dada June book. This is meditation with Canada John. Oh, what up, forever? I'm about to read a book here. But before I do, Okay, we're gonna move on to the Tao Te Ching. Hope you guys are enjoying this meditation.
Or at the thrust of grievous gold, did the bold bring Pasiphae to the palace of the cold? Could the sea of veils was set from drifting dead upon the foam? What shall save me, Messalina, save the majesty of Rome? Shall I wreck my life with roses, hurt my flesh with flames and rods? All is vain, for I have conquered both the mortals and the gods. In the gardens of Priapus in the land of lost desire, I have made myself a monster and my soul a snake of fire.
The bitch that got hired by. So basically, for what?
The omnipotent. The omnipotent.
Okay, here we go. Celebrate the paradox. This is your NLP ASMR hypnosis with candidate John Kitover. Go to johnforcongress.com. This is 3 minutes. This is called Celebrate the Paradox. No thing remains itself. Each prepares the path to its opposite. To be ready for wholeness, first be fragmented. To be ready for rightness, first be wronged. To be ready for fullness, first be empty. To be ready for renewal, first be worn out. To be ready for success, first fail. To be ready for doubt, first be certain. Because the wise observe the world through the great integrity, they know they are not knowledgeable. Because they do not perceive only through their perceptions, they do not judge this right and that wrong. Because they do not delight in boasting, they are appreciated. Because they do not announce their superiority, they are acclaimed. Because they never compete, no one can compete with them. Verily, fragmentation prepares the path to wholeness, the mother of all origins and realizations. Commentary. This verse is an elaboration on paradox of the previous 4 verses. It seems that now we might be able to recover the great integrity precisely and paradoxically, because we have suffered for so many centuries as victims of its loss. Paradox and the transformation of an entity into its opposite is not only the nature of the great integrity, but of its own rebirth, and indeed of all natural processes. Verse 23, sincerity. Speak few words, but say them with quietude and certainty. They will be long-lasting, for a raging wind cannot blow all morning, nor a sudden rainstorm last throughout the day. Why is this so? Because it is the nature of the sky and the earth to be frugal. Even human beings cannot alter this nature without suffering the consequences. When we sincerely follow the ethical path, we become one with it. When we become one with the ethical path, it embraces us. When we completely lose our way, we become one with loss. When we become one with loss, loss embraces us. When we sincerely follow the great integrity, we become one with it. When we are one with the great integrity, it embraces us. But when nothing is done sincerely, no thing and no one embraces us. Shit.
Clear and measured. If they are, the result is by definition rational. So, whatever I conclude on, it's just going to be some course. I'm personally of the opinion that most decisions don't matter that much, and you could flip a coin and just go with one. And if you really don't like that one, just switch to the other one and call it a day. If the property taxes is because a neighborhood which has educated youth is a better neighborhood.
This is 3 minutes. This is called Celebrate the Paradox. No thing remains itself. Each prepares the path to its opposite.
remains itself. It's this is tremendous.
Clear and measured. If they are, the result is by definition rational. Into property taxes is because a neighborhood into property.
I don't care about that though.
This is tremendous. This is called sub. History, our experience, enriching our intuition, the naming of the unnamed, the infusion of our reasoning consciousness with our behaviors. But our bowl is the community bowl that we fill and use collectively. We never overfill it.
resistance. You are human filth, garbage. You don't read books. You just run your mouth like a fully automated turd, just farting. That's what you do. You just go room to room farting. You kicked it. Okay, this is part 2. This is your Tao-Li Ching ASMR hypnosis with candidate Congressman John Kitover, reading to you Lao Tzu's book on classic wisdom, the Tao-Li Ching. The actions of a sincere person speak for themselves, but when there is a contradiction between words and deeds, space between them needs to be filled with mountains of rationalizations. Therefore, those who are sincere speak few words. Those who speak loquaciously are not sincere. Very simply put, the great integrity and insincerity are as incompatible as honesty and dishonesty. When we choose insincerity and dishonesty, there is always a price that we pay. To be left lonely and unembraced in our exile from the great integrity. Avoiding voids, verse 24. Standing on tiptoe will only make you tipsy. Walking with long strides will not allow a long walk. Shining the light on yourself will never enlighten you. Being self-righteous precludes you from being right. Boasting about yourself will never boost your eminence. Parading yourself parodies leadership. Tao consciousness avoids the cultivation of all these ego-bloated voids. Verse 24 commentary. All our artificialities, superficialities, and needs for parading our egos are compensations for the great void that derives from living loveless lives. When this void will be transcended, our individual rhythms and goals will become coincident with our ecologies. This is what Lao Tzu means by the return of the great integrity. When self and social actualizations will fill all the ego-bloated voids, releasing us from the compensatory addictions that we now so desperately cultivate. Verse 25, naming the nameless. What preceded life? The earth. What preceded the earth? The universe. What preceded the universe? The soundless and shapeless origin of origins, ever transforming and having no beginning nor end. This mother of the universe is boundless and nameless. But if we wanted to share with you anything about this remarkable, non-executing executor, we must invent a name for it. We will call it Tao, because Tao means great. Incredibly great, because it occupies infinite space, being fully present in the whole universe and in every infinitesimal particle. Because this great integrity created the universe, and the universe created the earth, and the earth created us, we are all incredibly great. Life derives from the nature of the earth. The earth derives from the nature of the universe derives from the nature of the great integrity, and the great integrity is the omnipresent, omnigenous, omniform, the universal material and spiritual substance, the holoversal interlinkage and cohesion of existence.
The actions of a sincere person speak for themselves, but when there is a contradiction between words and deeds, space between them needs to be filled with mountains of rationalizations.
Okay, that's the Tao Te Ching.
This is called Celebrate the Paradox. No thing remains itself. Each prepares the path to its opposite. To be ready for wholeness, first be fragmented. To be ready for rightness, first be wronged. To be ready for fullness, first be empty. To be ready for renewal, first be worn out. To be ready for success, first fail. To be ready for doubt, first be certain. Because the wise observe the world through the great integrity, they know they are not knowledgeable, because they do not perceive only through the perceptions. Do not judge this right and that wrong, because they do not delight in boasting. They are appreciated, because they do not announce their superiority. They are acclaimed, because they never compete. No one can compete with them. Verily, fragmentation bears the path to wholeness, the mother of all origins and realizations. Commentary. This verse is an elaboration on paradox of the previous 4 verses. It seems that now we might be able to recover the great integrity precisely and paradoxically, because we have suffered for so many centuries as victims of its loss.
Clear and measured. If they are into property taxes, is because
Because the Tao means great. This is your NLP ASMR hypnosis with candidate Congressman John Kitover. We will call it the Tao because Tao means great, incredibly great, because it occupies infinite space, being fully present in the whole universe and in every infinitesimal particle. Because this great integrity created the universe, and the universe created the earth, and the earth created us. We are all incredibly great. Life derives from the nature of the earth. The earth derives from the nature of the universe. The universe derives from the nature of the great integrity. And the great integrity is the omnipresent, omnigenous, omniform, the universal material and spiritual substance, the holoversal interlinkage and cohesion of existence. Verse 25 commentary. Here is this remarkable verse. We find Lao Tzu occupying, though never smugly, a more advanced scientific position than the most advanced science of the 21st century. Certainly, physics in both relativity and quantum theory represents the most comprehensive analysis of the nature of the universe we live in and compared with any of the other sciences. However, in macrophysics, relativity theory, even Einstein's E equals mc squared, which demonstrated the inextricable relation of energy, matter, and the speed of light, has not allowed physicists to go the way with Lao Tzu, who concluded 2,700 years ago that there was never a beginning of time, matter, or space, and that the great integrity is infinite. Physicists still search for the beginning of the universe, and now posit the Big Bang Theory and the seemingly obstinate clinging to the last vestige of the particularistic Newtonian Cartesian paradigm. In the 21st century, microphysics, quantum theory, the search for the Holy Grail, the smallest particle of matter has also still not been abandoned. Once thought to be the mighty atom, quantum physics has further reduced the fundamental fragment of the universe first to electrons, positrons, and neutrons, then to neutrinos and antineutrinos, then further to photons, hadrons, quarks, antiquarks, and mesons. Finally, quantum physics has posited that the particles themselves are not the most irreducible fragment of matter, but that even smaller components can be discerned as waves, specifically as superstrings. What indeed may very well become the most advanced scientific understanding of the nature of the universe is Lao Tzu's proposal of the great integrity of both the macro and the micro aspects meet in an irreducible infinitude without beginnings, endings, or entities of any kind that are not related and interlinked. Up next, we have seduction. Okay, we will call it the Tao because
because Tao means great, incredibly great, because it occupies infinite space, being fully present in the whole universe and in every infinitesimal particle. Because this great integrity created the universe created the earth created us. We are all incredibly great. Life derives from the nature of the earth. The earth derives from the nature of the universe. The universe derives from the nature of the great integrity. And the great integrity is the omnipresent, omnigenous, omniform, the universal material, in spiritual substance, the holoversal interlinkage and cohesion of existence. Verse 25 commentary. Here is this remarkable verse. We find Lao Tzu occupying, though never smugly, a more advanced scientific position than the most advanced science of the 21st century. Certainly, physics in both relativity and quantum theory represents the most comprehensive analysis of the nature of the universe we live in, compared with any of the other sciences. However, in macrophysics, relativity theory, even Einstein's E=mc², which demonstrated the inextricable relation of energy, matter, and the speed of light, has not allowed physicists to go the way with Lao Tzu, who concluded 2,700 years ago that there was never a beginning of time, matter, or space, and that the great integrity is infinite. Physicists still search for the beginning of the universe, and now posit the Big Bang Theory and the seemingly obstinate clinging to the last vestige of the particularistic Newtonian Cartesian paradigm. In the 21st century, microphysics, quantum theory, the search for the Holy Grail, the smallest particle of matter has also still not been abandoned. Once thought to be the mighty atom, quantum physics has further reduced the fundamental fragment of the universe first to electrons, positrons, and neutrons, then to neutrinos and antineutrinos, then further to photons, hadrons, quarks, antiquarks, and mesons. Finally, quantum physics has posited that the particles themselves are not the most irreducible fragment of matter, but that even smaller components can be discerned as waves, specifically as superstrings. What indeed may very well become the most advanced scientific understanding of the nature of the universe is Lao Tzu's proposal of the great integrity of both the macro and the micro aspects, mean an irreducible infinitude without beginnings, endings, or entities of any kind that are not related and interlinked. We will call it the Tao, because Tao means great, incredibly great, because it occupies infinite space.
It was more Dao De Jing.
This is your NLP ASMR hypnosis with Congressman Kitover. We will call it the Tao because Tao means great, incredibly great, because it occupies infinite space, being fully present in the whole universe and in every infinitesimal particle. Because this great integrity created the universe created the earth created us. Incredibly great. Life derives from the nature of the earth. The earth derives from the nature of the universe. The universe derives from the nature of the great integrity. The great integrity is the omnipresent, omnigenous, omniform, the universal material, in spiritual substance, the holoversal interlinkage and cohesion of existence. Verse 25 commentary. Here is this remarkable verse. We find Lao Tzu occupying, though never smugly, a more advanced scientific position than the most advanced science of the 21st century. Certainly, physics in both relativity and quantum theory represents the most comprehensive analysis of the nature of the universe we live in and compared with any of the other sciences. However, in macrophysics, relativity theory, even Einstein's E=mc², which demonstrated the inextricable relation of energy, matter, and the speed of light, has not allowed physicists to go the way with Lao Tzu, who concluded 2,700 years ago that there was never a beginning of time, matter, or space, and that the great integrity is infinite. Physicists still search for the beginning of the universe, and now posit the Big Bang Theory and the seemingly obstinate clinging to the last vestige of the particularistic Newtonian Cartesian paradigm. In the 21st century, microphysics, quantum theory, the search for the Holy Grail, the smallest particle of matter has also still not been abandoned. Once thought to be the mighty atom, quantum physics has further reduced the fundamental fragment of the universe first to electrons, positrons, and neutrons, then to neutrinos and antineutrinos, then further to photons, hadrons, quarks, antiquarks, and mesons. Finally, quantum physics has posited that the particles themselves are not the most irreducible fragment of matter, but that even smaller components can be discerned as waves, specifically as superstrings. What indeed may very well become the most advanced scientific Tao means great. This is your NLP ASMR hypnosis with candidate Congressman John Kitover. We will call it the Tao because Tao means great, incredibly great, because it occupies infinite space, being fully present in the whole universe and in every infinitesimal particle. Because this great integrity created the universe created the earth created us. We are all incredibly great. Life derives from the nature of the earth derives from the nature of the universe derives from the nature of the great integrity. The great integrity is the omnipresent, omnigenous, omniform, the universal material, and spiritual substance, the holoversal interlinkage and cohesion of existence. Verse 25 commentary. Here is this remarkable verse. We find Lao Tzu occupying, though never smugly, a more advanced scientific position than the most advanced science of the 21st century. Certainly, physics, in both relativity and quantum theory, represents the most comprehensive analysis of the nature of the universe we live in and compared with any of the other sciences. However, in macrophysics, relativity theory, even Einstein's E=mc², which demonstrated the inextricable relation of energy, matter, and the speed of light, has not allowed physicists to go the way with Lao Tzu, who concluded 2,700 years ago that there was never a beginning of time, matter, or space, and that the great integrity is infinite. Physicists still search for the beginning of the universe, and now posit the Big Bang Theory and the seemingly obstinate clinging to the last vestige of the particularistic Newtonian Cartesian paradigm. In the 21st century, microphysics.
Okay, this is Canada Congressman John Kitover. Go to johnforcongress.com. We're reading the Tao Te Ching, written by Lao Tzu 2,700 years ago. I hope you enjoy this podcast. Go to johnforcongress.com.
Electrons, positrons, and neutrons, then to neutrinos and antineutrinos, then further to photons, hadrons, quarks, antiquarks, and mesons. Finally, quantum physics has posited that the particles themselves are not the most irreducible fragment of matter, but that even smaller components can be discerned as waves, specifically as superstrings. What indeed may very well become the most advanced scientific Tao means great. This is your NLP ASMR hypnosis with candidate Congressman John Kitover. We will call it the Tao because Tao means great, incredibly great, because it occupies infinite space, being fully present in the whole universe.
Okay, this is candidate Congressman John Kitover. I'm reading from the Tao Te Ching. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the classic book on wisdom from China 2,700 years ago. This is your ASMR NLP experience. Inner strength is the master of all frivolities. Tranquility is the master of all agitated emotions. Those who succumb to frivolities have lost their inner strength. Those who succumb to agitated emotions have lost their tranquility. The wise cultivate inner strength and tranquility. That is why they are not seduced by addictive temptations. Verse 26, commentary. Living in a world before we have achieved the great integrity often challenges our inner strength and tranquility, tempting us to give up these anchors to our human essence for addictive escapes from the stresses we are so frequently forced to confront. We are limited here that if we can embrace our inner strength and tranquility when they are threatened by out-of-control addictions and emotions, we will stay the course toward the great integrity and be grateful for having done so. However, Lao Tzu invites no judgmental guilt or blame against those who don't hold fast. For whatever reasons, let their addictions and runaway emotions hold sway at any moment. What on the surface here appears like a tautology is rather a profound insight that feelings of guilt or blame for losing one's way to the great integrity are themselves emotional toxins that can only more deeply enmesh us in our victimizations. Wisdom is effortless mutuality, verse 27. The expert traveler leaves no footprints. The expert speaker makes no mispronunciations. The expert in calculation needs no calculator. The expert in closing things needs no lock, yet not one can open what has been closed. The expert in binding uses no knots, yet no one can pull apart what has been bound. The expert in caring for things never wastes anything. The expert in helping people never abandons anyone. These are the paths to enlightenment. Those who arrive at their destination teach those who are still on the path, while those still on the path are sources of wisdom for the teachers. Commentary, verse 27. We are reminded here that sharing wisdom requires two basic qualities: an enlightened expertise and two, an effortless mutuality. No matter how good a traveler you may be, if you do it under stress, you will indeed leave evidence of your diseasiness. No matter how good a speaker you are, if there is a lack of agreement between you and your audience, you are likely to become inarticulate. No matter how good you are at counting, if you are counting something in which the others involved have an opposite vested interest, you are likely to make mistakes. The wise who achieve an enlightened expertise in effortless mutuality teach those who are still on the path but are always enriching themselves by learning from their students. Okay, this is johnforcongress.com.
strength is the master of all frivolities. Tranquility is the master of all agitated emotions. Those who succumb to frivolities have lost their inner strength. Those who succumb to agitated emotions have lost their tranquility. The wise cultivate inner strength and tranquility. That is why they are not seduced by addictive temptations. Verse 26, commentary. Living in a world before we have achieved the great integrity often challenges our inner strength and tranquility, tempting us to give up these anchors to our
Okay, that's it for today's live stream. Go to johnforcongress.com. Thanks, everybody.